Dear students, I am Dr. Kumar, Assistant Professor of Zoology, Government First Grade College, Shira. The topic of today's lecture is host specificity. So this comes under paper 4, that is insect vectors and diseases. As you know that the host specificity, the name itself indicates some of the vectors or the disease causing agents or the pathogens, okay, they are very specific. They are quite specific. They live only in a particular host. They never live in each and every organism's body. Okay, they usually live in only such organisms where the favorable environment is present. This favorable environment permits them to undergo further development, or it will give complete nourishment and also provide the food and shelter for its further survival. Okay, so they select such organisms as a vectors or host in general. Okay, so the disease causing agents or the pathogens are very specific. So then they select a particular host to survive themselves in a subsequent way, so that they continue their progeny year after year. Okay, so here the host specificity can be defined as the natural adaptability. The natural adaptability of a particular pathogen or the parasite or any disease causing agent to certain species, or sometimes a group of species or group of hosts, which give a permanent the food and shelter for that particular the disease causing agent. Now the parasites can be very particular, or the disease causing agent or the parasite is very particular about the which host species they will use. That is what is called as host specificity. They will never live in all the organisms which are present in the given area. They select only the particular the host, okay, in which they are usually they take the shelter, right. And the host specificity of parasites or the disease causing agents can be classified into following types. These are the 6 different types of the host specificity parasites. That is Eoxenous parasite, Stenoxenous parasites, Euryxenous parasites, ecological specificity, ethological specificity, and physiological specificity. Let us go one by one. Eoxenous parasite and Stenoxenous parasite. Eoxenous parasite is a parasite that is specific for a single host species. For a single host species, it is very specific. It is having a single host species. Without that, it will not survive. Okay. Example: the HIV for the human beings. HIV get attached only to the human beings. Human immunodeficiency virus is the virus. It is very particular and it occurs, it can come across, it causes the disease only in the human beings. The human beings are the single host. Okay, HIV for human beings. And the other example is Imertinella. Imertinella, that is the intracellular protozoan parasite, which infects only chickens. They select chickens as the host. Okay, so here the Eoxenous parasite is nothing but the parasite is very specific to that particular host. Okay, only a single host, right? Specific. Right. The next is Stenoxenous. Stenoxenous parasite. This parasite parasitizes closely related hosts. Look at this. Here is the difference. Closely related hosts. Take for example the fishes, different groups of fishes, closely related fishes or closely related birds. Okay, like this. So this parasite that parasitizes closely related hosts is called as stenogenous parasite. Example, trichinellosis is caused by nematode roundworms of the genus Trichinella in many carnivorous and also omnivorous mammals. In general, it usually present in mammals, either the carnivorous mammals or the omnivorous mammals. It will select according to its choice. Okay, closely related hosts. Many number of hosts are present here. Okay, and they are closely related hosts. That is the mammals, either the carnivorous mammals or the group of omnivorous mammals. The next is Euryxenus. Euryxenus parasite that parasitizes unrelated hosts. Look at this. So, in the previous slide, that is Stenoxenus, closely related hosts. But here, unrelated hosts. Ondukondu sambandhane illa. Okay. So, different groups of hosts. Different groups of hosts. Okay. Unrelated host is called as or Euryxenus parasite. Example, Toxoplasma gondii for birds and also the mammals. Look at this. Toxoplasma gondii is a disease-causing pathogen. It selects both the bird's body as well as the mammal's body. Okay, unrelated. Both are unrelated. Birds are different and mammals are different. Okay, so they are unrelated hosts. Toxoplasma gondii is a disease-causing agent. It usually selects both the groups of the animals, that is the birds as well as the mammals. The host specificity is determined by the complex of factors. The complex of factors, some are obvious and some are still not known. What are the important factors which facilitates them to select such hosts? Okay. The ecological specificity. The first requirement is that in ecological specificity that the host shares its environment with a parasite. Okay, usually when the parasite or the host is present in any given environment, usually the host itself shares its environment with a parasite. Okay, in any given environment, if the parasites are present, so those parasites, they are present, no doubt, and there is no option for the parasite, so it has to be present in the body of that particular host present in a given area. Example, the dolphins. The parasites of dolphins might not have a chance of infecting the human beings. Look at this. So here the environment here refers, that is the habit or the habitat in which the animals are living. Take for example the aquatic environment. In the aquatic environment, whatever the organisms are present, so in those organisms the parasites will be present. Like the parasites of dolphin, the dolphin might have a chance of infecting human beings because the human beings are not residing in the aquatic environment, is it not? So that is the reason why the ecological specificity, that is the host share its environment with the parasite. That means that the parasites of dolphins might not have a chance of infecting the human beings who do not live in the aquatic environment or in or nearby the sea where the dolphins are present. The next is ethological specificity. It is the behavior of the host. Look at this. The pathogen will select the host according to the behavior of the host. According to the behavior of the host. Okay. So it is the behavior of the host which exposes to the parasite. Okay. People who eat pork. Look at this. The people are very eager. Some people are very eager to take pork meat very often. Very often. That means, so their behavior is like that. Even once in a week, they need pig pork. Is it not? So, people who eat pork may require the parasites intended for pig, such as the pork tapeworm, the Taenia solium. The Taenia solium. Okay. So, here in case of ethological specificity, so the pathogen usually transmit the host where it exposes its behavior. Okay, the behavior of the based on the behavior of the host, this gets transmitted among themselves. The next is physiological specificity. Once the parasite comes in contact with the host, disease causing agent, when it comes in contact with a host, it must recognize the appropriate cues and feels comfortable within its new surroundings. This is another important aspect, the physiological key factors, where once the parasite comes in contact with a potential host, the host must permit the pathogen to live in its body. Okay, so this can be known by the parasite by its signals. That is what is called as the appropriate cues. Cues are nothing but these are the behavioral signals. Okay, once this signals permits the parasite, so easily the parasite enters into the body. That means here there are some complexities where you need to understand the physiology of the host body must permit the survival of the disease causing agent in its body. Okay, and the parasite must feel comfortable within its new surroundings in order to survive. The parasites interact with the host secretions. That is another important aspect. The parasite, when it comes in contact with the host body, it interacts with the host secretion that involves the saliva or the sweat, etc. So it interacts with the host body secretions and body surfaces and its membrane. When it feels comfortable, so here an example here is take for example body temperature or the pH. Okay, so they are very much important for the survival of the parasite. Okay, when it comes in contact with the secretions of the host, it will recognize the temperature, pH and other physiological parameters will be checked. Once it feels comfortable, okay, so it can able to survive in that particular environment, it enters into the body of the host. So during this interaction of physiological factors, the parasite must recognize and respond to the molecular configurations about the receptivity, how the host body receives. Okay, so for example, the protein GP120, the GP120 of HIV virus, which will bind to the CD4 molecules of the T lymphocyte to get access into the cell. This is very important. Okay, once the HIV virus enters into the body cell, that is the T lymphocytes, which are present as a CD4 receptor cells, has to give permission to enter into the cell. Okay, so the CD4, the T lymphocytes, the CD4 protein has to give permit to bind into the cell. Then only the cell gets infected with HIV. Okay, so that's how the receptivity matters as far as the survival of the parasite in the host body. Right, the parasite must need to detect the delicate variations in metabolites in a host, which allows them to follow the roadmaps of selection of safe and suitable places for them in the host. Okay, so once it enters into the body of the host, it will recognizes the variation in the physiological parameters. Okay, and this will decide this will become a key factor for the disease causing pathogen in order to select the host and the survival of the parasite in the body of the host is concerned. Example, the liver fluke moves from the intestine to liver through the bile duct to get suitable place. Okay, so this is quite important that the physiological parameters which are operating in the body from one place to the other place is quite different. Okay, take for example the liver fluke, the move from the liver tissue through the bile duct into the to get the suitable place, the bile duct. Liver in the bile duct ಗೆ move ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. So the parasites must be satisfied with their diet available in the host. This is also diet preference. Okay, the host body has to give the shelter and also the food. Okay, the parasite has to be satisfied with the food which is usually provided to the parasite. Okay, then only it select the host. The parasites need to make a critical changes in its behavior and development according to the change in the host physiology of the behavior. Once somehow it selects the host, so there is no other way for the parasite. It has to get adjusted. It has to be get adjusted in the according to the changes that takes place in the body of the host. Example, acanthamoeba that cause keratitis, so can survive for years together under adverse conditions such as extremes of temperature and pH, desiccation and chemical exposure. Okay, so in the same way, the Entamoeba histolytica says against high acidity. This Entamoeba can live in a high acidic environment also, whereas Acanthamoeba, so this can be present in the extremes of environment, extreme pH, and also in the desiccation and various chemical exposure. So they usually survive. So in a sense that they can able to manage the developments which are taking place inside the body. So that is, these critical changes, the physiological changes, will be accepted by the parasites or the disease causing agent, and ultimately it survives in the body of the host years together. Okay, right. Clearly, all these combinations are unique for each host species. Okay, so these combinations or the physiological parameters, they are quite unique to the host species and vary even among individuals to the one individual to another individual and species to species within the individual host throughout its life cycle. Likewise, each population of parasites, so different parasites or different disease causing agents, they are heterogeneous in nature. Okay, they are heterogeneous in nature. So some individual, they usually succumb very easily if the wrong host is selected. If they enter into the wrong host, they usually die in the body of the host itself because they cannot survive due to these extremes of physiological conditions which are operating in the body of the host. Whereas some other disease causing agents, they persist, they sustain. Okay, they usually they learn to survive, and they can manage with that of the parameters which are operating in the body of the host. They persist and may come close to the full development in the body of the host. They are called as the pioneers. They are called as pioneers. So this is the driving force of evolution. So natural selection says the same thing. Those who get themselves adapted to that particular environment, they survive well. They survive well and continue their progeny year after year in the same environment. Okay, so this is the driving force of evolution, and parasites are the most rapidly evolving animals. Okay, so this is all about the host specificity. These are the references. And dear students, this is the time of COVID-19 pandemic, and a second wave is being hit to our nation. And dear students, you need to take precautions at home. Okay, or sometimes you go out, wash your hands very frequently with soaps and the sanitizers. Wear face covering or face mask and maintain physical distance in outside. Okay, stay home, stay safe, and save lives. Thank you.